Time now for your forewarned weather.
Welcome back, everybody. I got to show you this live view from our Black Desert Sky Cam. Look at the sunrise there. You can see the sun rays, the little shadows from the mountains there being cast across the sky as the sun comes up. That's such a pretty shot. Beautiful colors there. We love to see that. Temperatures right now are in the 70s, 60s, and 50s across the state. We have mid-50s for Milford and Cedar City. We have mid to upper 60s along the Wasatch Front. Salt Lake running a bit warmer at 74 degrees. 74 down in St. George as well. 67 up in Logan. Here's what to expect for the rest of the day. Increasing cloud coverage as we get into the afternoon hours. Those temperatures will warm up to the upper 80s. We do have a little bit of a breeze coming out of the south. That's keeping us fairly warm, though, and fairly dry. Our storm threat does exist, though, for the eastern part of the state, as well as even into the Wasatch Front. There's a chance, but really the northeast part of the state is going to have that best shot. Our futurecast walks us through the timing, shows you what to expect. With the heat of the day, that'll introduce the energy needed. That'll allow the heat to tap into that moisture and really allow these storms to bubble on up. Castle Country will be seeing a few storms rolling up through there into the Uinta Basin through Vernal and Duchesne, but then it starts to clear on out. By the overnight hours, we could see a couple of nocturnal storms in the northeast corner of the state, but it's not very likely, and it'll just be drizzles if we do. Then as we get into tomorrow, the Wasatch back, we'll start to see a few showers during the afternoon and evening hours. Then we could get a little bit towards the northern Wasatch Front in the evening, but we do have that southerly flow and a layer of dry air near the surface, so it's going to have to chip away at that dry air first. And then by Thursday night, we clear on out a little bit, but that moisture content is going to continue to increase as we get into the close of the work week. As for today, temperatures are going to be a few degrees above average, 5 degrees above average here in Salt Lake. The average this time of year is 84 degrees. We'll be topping out at 89. Upper 80s on the Wasatch Front. The Wasatch back will be a bit cooler with upper 70s to low 80s. And then down in the southern part of the state, we do have low 80s for most of our areas. The cooler spots will be in the 70s, places like Bryce Canyon City or Capitol Reef. And then we have 90s for the Four Corners region, 95 degrees in St. George, with a mix of sun and clouds throughout the state today. Mostly sunny skies in St. George with a high of 95, cooling down to 91 degrees for tomorrow with windy conditions on your Wednesday. Still be windy on your Thursday, not quite as windy as Thursday, but it'll still definitely be there. Temperatures cooling into the 80s for your Thursday, 86 degrees on Friday, and then it warms back up to the 90s to close out the weekend. The Wasatch Front does have that slight chance of wet weather today and tomorrow and even into Thursday, but apart from that, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, upper 80s for today and tomorrow. 90 degrees isn't out of the question. Windy conditions on your Wednesday and Thursday up here in the north as well. We could also see a threat of an enhanced fire risk. Isolated thunderstorms for your Friday with a pretty significant cool down into the 70s. 78 degrees for your Saturday with a slight chance of wet weather and partly cloudy skies for your Sunday and Monday, warming back up into the 80s. All right, let's check on those traffic conditions. Not too bad. It's a little bit of congestion near Lake Point if you're going from Tooele to Salt Lake. You can see that here on the map. Now, it is going to delay your drive time by a little bit. It's about a 43-minute drive from Tooele to Salt Lake. There's an accident on the side of the road, so you do want to plan an extra 10 to 15 minutes if you're commuting on I-80 between Salt Lake and Tooele. Apart from that, most of the state's looking pretty good. A couple spots of light congestion, but nothing too significant. You could leave at the normal time. Guys, back over to you.